The weatherman is calling for the lows to get down to the 20s, and that means that it's time to start getting the wood stove ready for winter. Hey everybody, welcome back to the homestead. This is Kevin with Living Traditions Homestead. Well, they're saying that by this coming weekend, it's going to be down into the 20s for our lows. In the 30s all this week, and then 20s by this weekend. So I've been putting it off all summer thinking I have more and more time, but now's the time. I need to start getting the wood stove ready for winter. So the first thing we need to do is clean the chimney. I haven't cleaned it all summer. You'll remember earlier in the spring there was a bluebird that kept getting stuck in there, so I just capped it off with some wire up on the roof, and I just left it that way all summer. So today's the day we finally need to go take that wire off, and we need to go clean out the chimney. So I'm going to show you how we do that, and then talk to you a little bit about the wood stove that we use. The stove we use is a DS stove. It's an Amish made stove, and we've been extremely happy with it. We used it as our sole source of heat all last winter. It's a combination wood stove and coal burning stove, which is really nice. When we bought it, we actually got 1,000 pounds of coal along with it to try out, and we were really happy with the coal, the way that it burned last year. What we would do is when we had a really cold stretch, where we knew it was going to be really cold for a week or so at a time, that's when we'd use the coal, because the coal keeps a real constant heat, and you don't have to add much to it once you get it going. You only have to shake it down and add more coal like every 12 hours, 8 to 12 hours, which is a lot better than adding wood every 3 or 4 hours. So I'm going to show you a little bit about the stove, and then we'll get started getting ready to clean out the chimney. Again, this is a combination. It will burn wood and coal. So the first thing we need to do to get ready to clean out the chimney is we need to take out the wood plate that's in the bottom. There's a handle over here on the side. When you shake that, it makes all of the ashes that are still in there drop down into the ash pan here on the bottom, which still has ashes in it from last winter. Been saving those. So, and there's a metal plate that sits here. And you use that when you're burning wood. You take that out when you're burning coal, because with coal you want more airflow from the bottom, and with wood you want to restrict that airflow just a little bit so it burns a little bit slower. So now that we have that out, take down the rest of those coals. Alright, so all that old ash is now down in the ash pan. We'll worry about that later. One thing that we really like about this stove is that it has a temperature control on it. On the back, there's a little knob that you just turn. It goes from 0 to 10, depending on how hot or how cold you want. So it basically restricts the airflow, and there's a little coil inside that reacts to the heat, and it opens and closes based on how hot it is. And that opens and closes a little valve to restrict the airflow inside the stove, which makes it burn very efficiently. It also has a reburn system on the top, so it reburns the gases to make it heat and burn much more efficiently. So you get all the heat out of your wood or whatever fuel that you're using in the stove. Alright, so the next thing we need to do is take off the plate on the top that's part of that reburn system. And there's 3 metal bars that hold a little plate on the top, and we need to take that out so that when we clean the chimney, everything can fall down inside of the stove. This is also how you rescue a bluebird that gets stuck inside of your stove. Just take that out, and what that does is it now leaves a nice passage clear from the chimney all the way down to the stove with no restrictions. except for a few little metal bars that run along the top, but they won't restrict the ashes falling down inside. So from here on out, all we need to do is close this up tight, and now we're going to get our tools ready for actually cleaning the chimney, and then we're going to head up to the roof, and I'll show you exactly what we do to clean the chimney out. Okay, so I've got my tools ready. I'm going to show you just quickly what they are. It's a real simple process. Now, I did want to touch on the fact a little bit about that we do this just a little bit different than a lot of people do. When we first bought a stove, we weren't really sure how to clean the chimney, so I did a lot of research. And I saw a lot of videos where people, disconnected, the stovepipe going up, and then they would tape a bag to the bottom and then clean it out so things would fall in the bag. Or they, they made it very difficult. The way that we do it is very easy. I think a lot less mess. Now, it may depend on the type of stove that you have. This is the only stove that I really have a lot of experience with. So your stove may be completely different, and that may not work for you. So, but basically, when we do it, like I said, we took that top plate off, and now everything will just fall down here, end up in the ash pan on the bottom, and then we can just take that ash pan outside to empty out. I've already taken the ash pan and emptied it, so there's nothing in it right now. So when we're done, we'll be able to see exactly how much stuff came out of the chimney. As far as tools to actually clean the chimney, all you're really going to need is a chimney cleaning kit, which has a brush, and these brushes come in different sizes depending on what size chimney you have. We have a 6-inch, so this is a 6-inch wire brush, and this just attaches to these handles, which I'm not going to attach them all in the house, but so it attaches like that, and then you just attach sections of these together until you have enough that you can get from your top of your chimney all the way down to the stove. So for me, I believe that's about 15 feet. So that's what I have here. And so now the next thing is to go up to the roof, take the chimney cap off, and then actually put this down inside the chimney to start cleaning it out. So that's what we're going to do now. I'm going to run out and get the ladder, and we're going to head up to the roof. Alright, so first thing we have to do is take this cap off. On this one, there's just a clip, so that's easy. On some, you have to unscrew some things. You'll just have to figure it out on your particular chimney. But the cap should just slide off, and then I'm going to take this off. This is the piece of screen that we put in there this spring to keep that stupid bluebird out. Alright, so now I have a straight shot all the way down to the stove. Can't see it, but it's there. So now we just take our wire brush, put it down inside the chimney, slide it all the way down till you feel it hit inside the stove. And then just start moving it back and forth. And as you are going up and down, you also want to turn it so that all of those bristles are hitting all the way around the stove. Now, I don't suspect that we had a very dirty chimney because we had some really good dry wood last year. And we burned the coal, which coal burns super clean, doesn't build up your chimney. But we still want to get this good and clean. So I'm going to do this for about, I don't know, 3 or 4 more minutes. And then we'll put the cap back on and head inside the house to see what ended up down in the ash pan. Alright, so we're all done cleaning it out. I'll just put the cap back on the chimney. Make sure that it's seated on there correctly. We'll get this strap back on to hold it tight. Alright, so the cap's on. Let's head back down in the house and we'll see what ended up down in the ash pan. We're back inside and it's time to see what came out of the chimney. So first we're going to just look inside. And it looks like a little bit, but not a lot. Let's look down in the ash pan. Now you can see that there's definitely a little bit that came out of the chimney, but not much. So that's good. That tells me that last year we were burning some good, clean fires. We weren't putting a lot of creosote up in the chimney, so our chances of chimney fire were pretty low, which is good. That's what you want. Now this is also a good time of year as you're getting everything ready to check the gaskets on your doors. There's a gasket that runs all the way along the inside of your door that helps keep, seal everything up nice and tight. So just make sure that those look like they're in good condition. These do. If not, they're pretty easy to replace and inexpensive. And just make sure on the ash pan door, but it looks like everything's good. Like I said, this stove is only about we just bought it last winter, so it's a pretty new stove. So I wouldn't expect, anything to be wrong with it. So, clean up the glass a little bit, just make everything look real pretty so that first fire of the year is a good one. We'll get everything put back inside and we'll be all set for the winter. Now I'll probably clean the chimney, halfway through the winter and then again in the spring if I get around to it, or I'll wait till the beginning of the following year. But just to be safe, you can never be too safe. When you're dealing with fire in your house, especially when you have a family inside. So you guys see this is a real easy process. If you're not heating your house with wood and you live in an area where it gets cold, I highly recommend that you do. It's a great renewable energy source, much less expensive than heating with propane or electric, and really just a good, I like the type of heat that it gives off. A nice dry, relaxing heat. And for like our size house, our house is about 1,200 square feet, 1,300 square feet, something like that. And this one stove heats this entire house really, really well. So you guys, if you have any questions, again, the model stove that we have is made by DS Stoves. If you have any questions for me about this, I'll try to answer them the best that I can. Leave those in the comments below. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, go ahead and hit the subscribe button now. We put out 5 videos every week. We sure would love to have you along as we continue to grow. Until next time, you guys, thanks for stopping by the homestead, and God bless.